All right, good evening, everyone. Today's Tuesday, November 28th, 2023, 6:30. Abington Conservation Commission meeting. First item on the agenda is order of conditions for SE 084563 located at 0 Summer Street. If you want to just go through our standard, Matthew, these are basically the standard ones we usually use for every project, and then specials will start working those through after.
Great.
All right. You ready to start writing? Or do you want to just get them from me after? All right, so I have A1. What do we want to use for a work line? Because I know they're not going to be able to get the buffer that we usually require. I think the tightest spot is what? What's it? Right here, right?
Yeah.
Should be that front lot of,
Yeah.
I thought he said it was back to 35 feet.
30.
30, yeah.
9.3.
So what do you want to say? 35 feet where? How do we want to word it? Here is where they can get the
Yeah.
35 feet. But no less than 29 feet?
I think it was 29.4, was it not?
Well, that's where they're gonna be building, so they're gonna have to put the erosion control in front of that. So I really, it should be like a foot, 2 feet less than that to put the erosion control in.
27,
Yeah,
25, give him a little buffer.
yep. So 35 feet or,
Where
Right.
applicable?
yeah. So no less than 25 or 35 where applicable. All right, then I have A2, A3, A4, in A5, and A6. Then for B, I have B1, B2, I mean, they're gonna be changing the flow patterns with their, it's kind of like you wanna cross the first line of B2 out. But, I mean, you wanna put B2 exclude the first sentence?
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, that's fine.
Then B3, B4, B5, and B6. For C, I have C2, 3, and 4. D, it's 1, 2, and 3.
There's nothing for E.
Nothing for E and nothing for F. And for G, I have G1, G2, G3, G4, and G5. What do we want to put down for footage?
Any wetlands, I mean, we want to keep it as far away as possible.
There really should be no stockpiling over there, so.
Yeah. I mean, you say 100 feet, then it's not our worry.
Right, find a spot.
And that's usually what we do. So we'll do 100 feet. Then G6 and G7. H, I have H2, H4, H5, H6, all for H6. H7. And I don't, we want to add some things like the no salt substitute in there, where that's all stuff that's going to be in perpetuity.
Yeah.
So,
Do we also have for like fertilizer too?
well, that's why we should put that in the perpetuity. That way it's not here and then listed somewhere further down in the special conditions. So we can, so it'll be A, B, C we'll put down, how do we want to word it? Salt substitute for, how do we usually word it?
We mean like only salt substitute shall be used for,
Do you want me to change
Icing.
what I usually do in the specials? Which is
Yeah,
the-
I mean,
and
it's just,
put it in.
yeah, whatever we had before for that, and then herbicides, no, you know, only, they have to contact us if they need herbicides.
and also.
That would be on to H7 though, wouldn't it?
Well, they're all, that's why we need to put a letter next to
Okay.
each one as we go,
Yeah,
starting with, so the salt substitute for de-icing will be D. Herbicides, contact the commission before using any herbicides would be E. Uh, Just to keep all the stuff that's gonna be in perpetuity, instead of having them in special conditions, we're just gonna list them all under H7. Since there's already letters there, we're just gonna add letters to it. What else did I have?
Let's see, that's already here.
Yep. I think that's all I had for stuff that's gonna be in perpetuity. You guys have anything else? All right,
what are they doing for snow?
well, that's all, that's already, they have that area over here already
Oh, okay.
set up for it.
Okay.
So, 7, H8, H9, then I have I1, I have I2, all A, B, C, D, and E. Now for special conditions, you want me to just go through what I had? I just had a couple, Matthew, before we start our dialogue. So special condition 1 would be, I'd like to have signage for no snow dumping in the, I guess it would be the east corner near the pond, where they put in the timber guardrail, in front of the pond.
Or into the pond?
No, just no snow dumping. You have to say into the pond.
Just no snow
Yeah.
dumping in that area.
Then as far as the erosion control inspections, I'd like to see reports sent to us on a month, once a month. As far as inspections go, we'll do them twice a month, or twice a month. Next one, if our inspections of the erosion control aren't working, we reserve the right to ask for a third-party inspection. Minimum two business days for any tasks within the wetland or buffer. You know, meaning if you guys are doing tree clearing, just let us know 2 days, but minimum of 2 days before, not every day you gotta tell us, we're cutting trees down today, we're cutting trees down tomorrow. Just keep up the dialogue, that's all. I think that's all I had for special conditions. So, Matthew, you wanna chime in? I'm sure you've got,
Yeah, thank you for providing a copy of that, your standard, because that'll be useful. There'll be a lot of overlap with where we
Yep.
tend to put special conditions in, so, so I'd beg a little forgiveness on, the opportunity to kind of digest that and see where we're at. I think one of the things that you've brought up, actually, that we often recommend is a third-party review of erosion controls, but I think that your suggestion of, keeping that on the table in case things are going badly on your regular inspections, or if your regular inspections aren't, if you can't keep up with them, that you've got that right. That's a good approach to doing that. So we have, are there any other sort of pre-construction conditions? Again, not super familiar with what you typically do. So just, establishing that work area based on the erosion controls, making sure that you have a pre-construction meeting, and just everybody get on the same page. I think you were making the point of keeping the dialogue going with the applicant to make just through the construction phase, so that you're fully aware of what's going on when, and keeping your eyes on it. So I don't think there are anything along there. One thing that I would be concerned about is protecting that bank, because it's so steep on the pond. And so, that might be something to put together a special condition, just to give that extra attention before things get rolling. So I'd plan to put some thought into that, how to recommend how you might just ensure that bank is protected.
you thinking more like a larger silt sock or something like instead of like a 12 inch, use an 18 inch with the silt fence behind it?
Yeah, that something along those lines, and that might be something, a dialogue you can have with the applicant, just as things go. Maybe once it gets started, you can get a look at what they've done, and have some flexibility to require it to be beefed up. You don't have any dewatering needs?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Okay.
I think there's a condition for that anyways, about dewatering somewhere.
Yeah, some,
Um,
A5.
Yeah.
A5. Oh, good, okay. Yeah. As far as stockpile management, getting it outside of your jurisdiction is good, but making sure it doesn't come into your
Stays
jurisdiction
outside.
is, yeah. So that might be something to work into your special conditions. Just sort of what that expectation is for control, at least on the wet side of a pile, so it doesn't migrate. Let's see. Just looking through some other examples of, one thing that it's tough when your special conditions get to be, many, many pages long, and, who's really paying close attention to that. So being spare on those, I think, is beneficial to everyone involved. But the stockpile management, I think, is worth putting some effort into. Let's see. for stabilization, have we talked about seed selection and ensuring that, you know, you're getting native seeds going down in areas that are going to be maintained as open spaces, the edges of the stormwater management ponds, so forth?
We haven't talked about that, I
Haven't talked
think.
about that. All right, that's probably worth, you know, ensuring that you're not getting just a broadcast of weeds.
Mhm.
So that we'll offer up something along those lines.
So when you guys want to just come up here in case you can answer one of the questions for us so we can,
Here, Jim?
yeah,
Here? Yeah.
No, right there.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's probably a standard condition. I think it was in the ZBA, no invasive species, and,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of standard language.
Yeah, typically. It's good to get it into the order conditions just so that the Conservation Commission has their own
Yep, absolutely.
control over
Yeah.
that.
Why don't we
too.
just ask for a plan that we'll review before?
Yep, that's smart. One of the things we had talked about was invasive species management in the wetland. And that's something that Goddard can probably put together for you. You know, an inventory of, because I remember it was all multiflora, rose and,
Poison ivy.
well, unfortunately, that's a native.
Yeah.
But we had I know at one of the public hearings, we had talked about addressing invasives in the wetlands
Yep.
to have some improvement.
Oh, yeah.
So an invasive,
Bittersweet, I think there was bittersweet there.
yep. So inventory and management plan that results in some improvement to the wetland. So I'll get you some recommended language there. Post, getting into thinking about any other construction phase, special conditions. You know, I think that, again, I've been able to scan through your standard conditions. Are there any gaps that you have experienced
Mostly with the replication.
with replication?
Yeah.
Yeah, and since we're not doing that, we don't need to worry about that, so that's.
Just a quick thing, I know on a couple of projects, we did have some sort of
I know what you're gonna say.
language for heavy equipment going in and out and keeping the roads clear.
Having like a
of-
tracking pad?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was a big complaint by people, you know, they don't want to be driving through there and have dust and dirt and stones all over. So, yeah, some sort of,
Yeah. Out onto public roads.
correct, I mean,
Yeah.
because heavy equipment's gonna be in and out of there doing whatever they do.
Yep.
And to keep the roadsway clean, you know,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, because you've got the commuter parking in Summer Street.
Will that remain, that won't remain open, that access to the,
I believe it
Commuter
is.
parking.
isn't
Well,
it?
yeah, that was a condition of the ZBA that it does, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And there is, you know, dust and dirt control on that road as part of the ZBA's
Yeah.
conditions, yeah.
yeah.
So as the
Okay.
trucks go in and out of the property, there should be some sort of matting to catch any,
Yeah, and then daily cleanup.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. We've got a lot of standard language that we use because we do the National Grid and Eversource work.
Oh, okay.
So we write these kind of conditions all the time for that, for those
Excellent.
guys.
Okay, good.
If I actually may, I mean, does it make sense, because I do know that is part of the ZBA, if we can send you their conditions so that the language is consistent?
Yeah, do that. If you wanna just, you wanna just go through all of ours, that way you can highlight the ones that,
There's gonna be a
Coincide.
lot, and there always is, right, that overlap, right, that's,
what we want to avoid is conflict.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yep. That-
Yeah, so if those come, we can get a look at those and marry those up with your standard order plus any potential additional special conditions that would, and make sure that there's no conflict among them. That's always good practice. And then, perpetual conditions, I think that you've touched on those. Making sure that, it's unlikely that the site is going to become a place for dumping, but, we can include some language along those lines. Just given the build-out, it's just unlikely there's any space for that, but, the
Best to be
stormwater.
safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry, and, the stormwater detention ponds.
Are right there.
Yep, those can be a handy place for leaf cuttings and so on and so forth. Obviously, maintenance of the stormwater management will be included in the standard conditions. Yep, and we talked about de-icing, snow storage. Snow storage is up on the northern part of the
I think the northwest
site.
corner, right?
Northwest corner, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah, so I think that nothing else comes right to mind as things that I didn't see in my quick scan of this, and I'll be curious to see what the zoning board conditions are. But other than that, I think that, other than what we've talked about, that kind of covers most of the bases that we typically try to make sure we cover.
I'd like to see some signage up there too around the pond area so that they know that it's conservation area as well as
What, just the regular, those ones
some
we
sort of
approved?
signage so that, people are going to be living there, kids are going to be there. You don't want them going in and, especially with storm, kids are going to be drawn to these places.
Yeah?
Definitely have to have some signage up.
You want like 3 signs
Um,
along the... What's the one that was that?
I know they're going to have a courtyard for activities, but children aren't going to stay in one spot.
Sure.
They're going to want to move.
Hopefully they'll want to catch dragonflies.
Well, maybe.
Engage in their nature.
So it's about 200 feet long around in front of the pond. You want to say 4 signs?
Every 50 feet.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, I think it's adequate.
Sometimes we'll recommend a split rail fence at that limit of work,
Ah,
just to sort of create a visual barrier, especially to
I know,
help
yeah.
prevent snow getting pushed up.
oh yeah, they just
I
did
think
that.
that was already
Well,
in
they're
the discussion.
doing the
That's
timber
already taken
guardrail.
care
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And are you guys on the agenda yet with ZBA?
So we submitted it yesterday, it got delivered today, so speaking with them before, it looks like it's on for the 14th of December.
Okay.
And so Chair, I don't know if you got the email from Phil Cordero at
Yep.
Allen Major with that proposed language for a special condition.
Yeah, you want to I don't know if everybody else has a copy of it.
No, I didn't
No.
want to make a check. This is they wanted to add that as a condition.
Share it, Rena, you got one.
Okay.
So their meeting's on the 14th, you said?
Yes, sir.
Of course, it's after our next meeting. 'Cause I know the outcome of that basically drives what happens here, because if they say no, then we're back to the original, we have to discuss the original plan and vote on, I guess we vote on that or see what they say, right?
No, no.
Yes, they wanted the vote here first, which, I was unfortunate not to make it last month, but the vote was had, right?
Yep.
Under that presumption. We would like to think that they'd want to support your decision here, and it doesn't really
Am I missing
alter
something?
the
It's
site
not-
plan for their purposes at all. We'd like to,
Right.
so, but.
That's the most recent, that's the condition.
Oh, all
What's
right.
your 21-day
Oh.
period?
What, to get the orders
Yeah.
would be next, well, is it 21 business days?
Okay.
No.
21 calendar.
days, so it would be next, 14 days ago we had the last meeting, so.
So you wouldn't be able to wait till the,
Well, that's why we have the condition in there, yeah.
But yeah, the
Yeah.
condition, I was looking it over, and the only thing that I was concerned about is the last sentence, so, I don't know, share it with you. It's at the last paragraph. See, the thing is because from what I understand from reading it, it's basically saying that, if they don't approve it, all the other conditions will remain in
Now, yeah, and I
place.
spoke with our attorney about that, and if you want to delete that very last one, we can. She confirmed that it does not say that, it's just strictly relating to this one condition gets omitted.
Yeah, because it would still have to come before us again, and then all the orders we've approved, the order of conditions that we've approved are going to have to just go away, right? So I think.
What do you mean they would have to come before you?
Well,
get-
we've already gone through and we would have approved, order of conditions.
Well, no, we
right?
approved this plan,
We
so.
approved this plan with the order of conditions, right?
But if ZBA says no, you gotta go back to the previous plan, then we'd have to
To vote.
vote on that plan. And then right up,
And then the order of conditions would change.
right,
I think our assumption was that both plans were approved, right, and that we're going to seek this change from the ZBA, which is identified there as I forget the quotation she has, the new revisions, but if the ZBA deems it substantial and they want to open up the public hearing, it reverts back to the original plan, which is the plan that was submitted.
so it would revert back to the approved plan,
Correct.
to this approved
Which is the
plan.
original submission plan.
no, he's saying that, so basically, we'd be going back to the plan with the parking garage over here.
Oh.
Right? Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, and
Oh.
Because we didn't approve that plan, we approved this plan.
So if that were
Which is
to,
why
if that
we
were to
have to approve
unfold
the
that
whole
way,
condition
you could come back
order
here to
conditions.
request an
yeah,
amended order.
my understanding was that it was voted on that it's a if or, that that we wouldn't be coming back, that we're gonna try to get this new plan approved, but if we cannot, the original plan is still approved. My understanding is that is how the vote took place.
No, because I was saying, we'd have to have a condition basically saying that we'd write up the orders approving this plan, and if one of the conditions would be pending zoning board approval.
Because we didn't approve both plans, we approved this plan.
They weren't supposed to do that, but yeah, because we can't open up the public hearing, so if ZBA says no, we still will need you to vote on the original plan.
Well, that's what I'm saying, so we just vote on the original plan. Either we approve it, deny it, and then,
Yeah, I thought it made sense to, approve it then as well, right, knowing that we're going to try to get, and we have to try to get this amended by the ZBA, but if they don't, and that basically saved us from coming back, because
yeah.
we're gonna ultimately ask you to do that anyways if the ZBA says no.
Yeah,
It just saved us from coming back and opening, 'cause now we'd have to reopen up the Concom.
I thought that's what we said we would do.
Yeah,
We didn't,
Yeah.
we're not gonna say cool to both plans, when we've spent a lot of time talking about moving things away from the
Yeah.
pond.
Yeah, I
It's
mean.
not what we,
Sure. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I think there was a lot of reservation about approving the plan with the garage as originally proposed.
yeah,
And there may have been, since that wasn't the plan that you were discussing or voting to approve, there might have been a different outcome if you were asked to vote on that originally submitted plan.
Correct.
So it sounds like that would be a significant enough change. If zoning board says no, then that would be a significant enough change to reopen your process as,
Which, I mean-
under an amended, a request for an amended order.
amended order,
well,
or?
it wouldn't be an amended order because we have to vote on the original plan.
Right.
Right, but you could, I think you could approach it as an amendment, a request for an amended order of conditions. So your order of conditions would be approving the revised plan
Yep,
without a condition that says if ZBA says no, that it reverts back to something you didn't approve. And they can come to you and say, we'd like to amend our order to look at the originally submitted plan, to make that the plan of record. And then you would be able to vote on whether or not you're willing to approve that plan as an amendment. You could say, nope, your order of conditions is invalid and we have to start over. Or you could just approach it as a request for an amended order to change that detail.
So what is actually going to the zoning board for appeal?
It's only for the minor changes that we accepted when they came before us the last time. They still have to run it by zoning. And at that time, they didn't feel it was going to be a big issue, and now it's like, but if it is, then,
then what do we do?
But who's saying if it is? Is zoning board saying, well, if it is?
no.
They
Their
haven't
attorney.
been in front of ZBA since our last meeting.
Yeah.
Have we had a conversation with a representative from the zoning board?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just wondering, do we reach out to the ZBA and have a joint meeting with them for that hearing?
I think
I
that
think
might be
that might
best if
be
if we
The way to,
approve our orders now, and then plan on when they have their meeting to go before them, that we make sure it's a joint meeting, so that we're there and we can lend any feedback at that time and make any corrections if needed. There may be none needed, but I think we can
And
lend
when's-
some,
We could post with the joint
we did it with
meeting,
planning board
and
for,
then-
Right.
Exactly, we can have the second meeting scheduled in case there are, so when we're done in here, we can go right to the order in the other room and not take up the zoning meeting.
either
And
or,
when would
whichever's
that be?
easiest.
The
Huh?
14th?
Of
They're-
December?
they're on that Thursday. Is that gonna screw us up with the 21 days though?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's after your 21-day period expires.
Can we technically reopen the hearing until then? No?
No, you're over a barrel a little bit
Yeah.
on that.
So just because I wasn't here, you were not asked by my colleague to vote on being able to, that we're going to seek the new plan, right, that we believe we're all in favor of, and I know it was not a all-five vote, right, it was a 3-2, and that we would seek those changes, but if they say no, you're still willing to approve the original plan.
I don't believe that would be.
That's-
No,
Yeah,
that's
that's
why I
what we
said,
voted on.
No.
I wanna have the condition where this plan that we approved, if it doesn't get past ZBA, that we have the right to come back and vote on the original plan, whether we approve it, deny it, we don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know the legal procedure of that yet. I'd have to run that by council.
I'm no lawyer.
I'm not either. And I-
So, but, you know, the plan that the commission voted to approve is the one as revised.
Right.
Correct.
So that's what's on the table. And that's the one that was approved. And the change, if you have to revert to the original, that's a different, that's not what you voted to approve. You know, council, town council, the applicant's council might be able to sort of suss out the procedurally. I think you're in a situation where you can't wait until ZBA
Right.
makes their decision. You have to issue an order. And your approval is upon this
Correct.
set of plans. So that puts the applicant in a tight jam, but that's their jam. And, you know, I think there's an option available, and that's where your counsel might be helpful. If you approve this plan, ZBA says, nope, we're not having it, they can come back to you and request an amendment to their order of conditions. And then you get to decide, is this a significant enough or difference
Mm-hmm.
that we need to rehear it, and you can reopen a hearing and go through that process. Or you can look at it and say, it's not significant enough, we can live with this, and we'll approve an amendment. I think procedurally, I think that's the
I can,
smoothest.
yeah, I'm not real familiar. I've never had to reopen. I mean, we've had to do it with the ZBA in substantial change. I've never had to do it with conservation. So
Yeah.
I would hope it'd work the same way,
I
but
mean,
I'm not
it's
sure.
not, you're not moving the building over 50 feet or anything like that. I'm not gonna speak for zoning, but it's not like it's a huge,
I think we're in
but-
the same boat there, that it's a better plan this way,
knock
right?
on wood. Yeah,
That was kind of the question that
And
I'm
how does it impact?
bringing up. It's really, it's
Why-
an improvement to the plan that they've already looked at, so.
Right, why would the ZBA care, right? But
But I think
We need to
that-
have some contingency plans in place in the event of.
And that's why I think we were hoping that the vote would be done that way, that it's, because if they say no, there's no other option, right? It was either the original or this. But that's already,
But the commission doesn't need to be put in the position of being at that, that doesn't need to you don't need to put yourself in that position. Yeah, you can kind of push that back on the applicant, like becomes their problem instead of becoming yours. But I-
no, but we can reach out to ZBA too and tell them, you know, the changes they've made are beneficial for the wetlands.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep. The project goes off.
I do think,
that's
yeah.
all, I mean, that's all we
Yeah.
care about to voting wise anyways, but
But this is a good example of, I think, an opportunity to reach out to another board and have that discussion and just
Yes.
say, you know, advocate for the improvements that you were able to negotiate out of the project. And, you know, you're not making a significant change in
no,
the
they've come
height or.
this far from
Right.
from the original plan that I saw
Right.
2 years ago, a year and a half ago. No, 2 years ago.
It's been 5 years.
No, but I'm saying
Yeah.
what we saw.
From what
but
we
yeah.
saw, yeah. We're 1,000 steps ahead of where the game was at point one, so
Right.
I think to go back all that far, I think it might be in our best interest to have a joint meeting or have a meeting slated for immediately after in the event of. But I think that conversation's,
I mean, if you reach out to the zoning board, I mean, can they just have, I know that we have in the past had just a meeting set up specifically for one item to make a vote. I mean, this is not a big change, and I think that was the whole thing that we discussed at the last meeting. Phil had said, we're not changing the footprint of the building, we're not changing the courtyard, we're not changing the pool area, simply moving a building. And he did not feel that it was a big to-do with zoning. That's what we voted on.
We think that, yeah, I mean, I think it's such a low probability that
Yeah,
they won't.
so I
And
mean,
and I do
it's
think a
like-
letter of support from the board, I think would put it over the top, I would hope, but
So Tony, would you be able to send a letter on behalf of the Conservation Commission to the zoning board advising them that we've approved the plan that they discussed, moving the building, and that we would support their
I'll do it.
quick?
I mean, they're gonna need time, I'm sure they're gonna want time to review it anyway, so by the time they review it and everything. Have you submitted the revised?
we
plans
did, it was
then?
overnighted yesterday, we got the confirmation receipt
All
this
right,
morning
so I
from the
mean, they
town
could
clerk.
Zoom it
that
like
was
we've
delivered. So they
Zoomed
have it
meetings.
today, they got it this morning.
All right, so like, I
But we
mean,
should still write up the order of conditions, worst case scenario,
right,
and we can always amend the condition and take that off if,
Well, under this scenario, I don't believe that would be necessary then, right? Because you're not, that condition is based off of you approving the old plan with us seeking to go get the new one. So
Right.
I don't think that's
We
now
won't add
relevant
that
if
then.
that's not the case, which was not my understanding, but.
So, I mean, I think this is a good intellectual exercise. I don't think they're gonna freak out about it.
We don't think so either, but it was
I mean,
2.5 years with them. I mean, it was a
Yeah, I
difficult
just-
process, right? They're a wild card.
yeah, I don't see them doing it, but it's good to have a plan in case we run into this now or in the future, maybe.
sure.
I'll second that motion to forward them off a letter.
yeah. Do you think we should still keep the condition in here that these conditions are based off of this plan?
Yeah,
Absolutely, yep.
I mean, that's what we discussed at the last meeting. We were very,
Yeah.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen a larger buffer, but
No, but the way Lynn was
Right.
talking, like we're gonna eliminate I thought that's what you were getting at, just eliminate that whole.
Yeah, we're gonna eliminate that. That's not gonna get added.
yeah.
Yeah, and we'd write up a findings section at the beginning.
So we have to do that tonight because we need to have it out for this week.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll jump back to that in a second. Are there any other special conditions we want to add?
The only question I did have, I know when we had moved the garage to that other corner, I believe we had made mention about a chain link fence across that pond area in the front in addition to the wood, or did we go just with the wood fence, the wood buffer, and I
Well, I
I
wasn't-
honestly don't remember one way or the other.
I was not here at the last
Okay.
meeting, I had a conflict.
I wanna say we
I
did.
thought we did because
Because we talked about the children issue
Right.
Well, it-
yeah.
well,
coming down there as,
yeah. And if you push snow, they would destroy
Right.
the fence. That's why we said no snow. And yeah, and it was just around, basically from that corner down to around the pond area.
yeah, just that frontage of the pond area.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna rattle these off, the special conditions now. I forget what number we're on, so it's just gonna be, the next one's gonna be pre-construction meeting, minimum 2 weeks prior to start of construction. Extra silt sock and silt fence on site. Silt sock around stockpiles. Seed plan before construction starts. Provide and invasive species inventory and plan before construction starts. Provide dirt tracking pads at any exit from the construction site. And then the chain link fence around the area of the pond.
Didn't we also say something about the street being cleaned? Like any dirt, rocks and stuff coming out?
I think that's
of
what the
street?
pad's supposed to prevent.
Yeah,
But what if it,
And daily cleanup.
And daily.
and daily
yeah.
cleanup, so add that onto the tracking dirt.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you.
And then I guess how do we want to word? The last special condition would be these orders of condition,
Subject to final approval of zoning board.
I'd specify that plan set in a
11.
findings
In the
section up
findings,
front.
yeah.
And this order is relative to this plan set. And then if, in the unlikely circumstance, planning board rejects that, then the
Okay.
order of condition, they have to come back to you with a
Yeah.
request for an amendment to just substitute in the previous plan set.
11-1.
Under the special order, did you also say you reserve the right for a third party?
Yep,
Okay,
I already, that
okay,
was an hour ago.
okay, sorry. I'm just reading through my notes, that's all.
Matthew, can you just, I write slow. Order is relative to plans dated 11-1, pending ZBA approval.
I think I wouldn't even mention ZBA
Okay.
approval. You're just, this commission is approving this plan set. And then it becomes their problem if ZBA says, no, we're not
Right.
gonna allow
Okay.
that. And they have a pathway for coming back to you and requesting that you change that.
Anybody have anything else?
Good.
All right, somebody want to make a motion to approve?
Go ahead, Rich.
I'll make a motion to approve SE 084563, orders of condition located at 0 Summer Street.
We have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll reach out to zoning.
Yeah, we'd
and
appreciate a
see-
letter of support. I think.
I mean, hopefully we don't need to have a special meeting and,
Yeah,
if I get-
we
if I gotta go-
we hope so too, yeah.
I mean, hopefully it's just, if I have to go and speak at the
Yeah, we'd
ZBA
like to
meeting.
think that they would take your kind of advice on a better plan.
Yep.
Be meaningful knowing that this is your jurisdiction, yeah,
All right,
so.
thank you.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
Good night. Thanks, Matthew.
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah,
skip
you're welcome.
over Rose Place.
Before you move on, I've just got a request for you, just for some additional authorization in the budget to cover the meeting tonight
Yep.
and work on that.
Okay.
So if that's okay by you. And I put kind of a high number on it so that I didn't have to come back if it runs a couple hours long, but I don't expect it to require all that,
Thank you.
so.
thank you.
And it's on a time and materials basis, of course. Okay, good to see you all.
Thank you. Safe trip home.
Thanks a lot.
Huh? I told you.
Good luck and if I don't say, have a lovely holiday.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, happy
too.
holidays to
Yeah.
you.
And he'll be teaching in the spring.
We'll be teaching.
What classes?
Wetland ecology at UMass Lowell.
Oh, I thought you meant MACC classes.
No.
I'll be doing that as well.
Yes.
But, no, Ingeborg Hageman, who was our principal for a while, is trying to retire from all of her many things, and that was one of them. She called me up and asked if I'd be interested in taking over her class.
Nice.
That she's been teaching for 20 years or so.
Very nice.
So
Wow.
that's exciting.
What MACC classes are you teaching next?
I'll be teaching vernal pools
Ooh,
in the spring,
I'll be signing for that.
and then the buffer zone fundamentals course.
Excellent. Drop us a note and let us know when.
I will.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Matthew.
So much,
See y'all.
appreciate it.
Take care.
Is anybody here for National Grid or for 1400 Bedford Street?
I did 1400 Bedford Street, so I wasn't expecting it to be on, but I can talk about it.
You want to do, are you here for the Robert English?
Robert English, yes.
Let's do those ones first then.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, so we'll start with number 5.
I have to share the plans
Number 5.
with you.
Huh?
I have to share the plans with
What did I just do?
Say we're starting with 5.
Yeah, I
We
don't,
did a repetitive. It's in-
I know, I don't have the SE number though on my,
I got them today, I downloaded them.
all right, we'll start with number 5.
So 5 got a file number 084-0568.
084,
0568.
0568, yes.
all right, so next up is discussion on notice of intent located at 5 Robert English Way, file number 084-0568.
Good evening, my name is Sean Hardy, professional engineer with Hardy and Mann Design Group from Weymouth, Massachusetts. This is a proposed construction of a single-family residence on a previously approved subdivision. The subdivision had gone through, the Conservation Commission was approved in August of 2015 with an order of conditions that was also extended through March of next year. So this is, the roadway is under construction currently, there's binder course down, the utilities are in, the drainage has been constructed across for the drainage basin. So these are proposing for the single-family houses that are within the buffer zone of that. As part of the conditions for the approval of the subdivision, each lot was required to provide 150 cubic feet of infiltration available, so we're proposing to show 2 Cultec chambers for each residence. That will provide a 242 cubic feet, so in excess of what that requirement of the order of conditions for the overall subdivision was. The perimeter controls are already in place for the construction of the subdivision. They're being actively maintained, so we're proposing to just continue using those. The roadway has been stabilized, so there's not really the ability to have tracking out on it. Now, it has been paved. And as far as the proposed grading, it's just around the residences to just provide a driveway and a good access to get up and shed water away from the houses. There's not really significant proposed grading that's going to happen. And this, you can see, is just outside, so the work is just outside the 50-foot buffer as far as for the residents, and with some minor grading that would be in there.
Question I have, you show replication area, is that part of the,
That's part of the subdivision, and it hasn't happened yet.
so, my next question, why are you showing the buffer zone based off of the existing flags and not off of where the replication line?
Because it hasn't happened yet, so it would be under as-built. It could be, you know, slightly different shape or alignment. That was one of the, so in the DEP, when they gave us the file number, That was the question that they asked. They said, has it been done or not? And if it has been done, then we would have to modify it, but until it's done, we didn't think appropriate to show it, because that would be handled under an as-built situation. Because it's not always, if
No, I
they build
understand.
it bigger, or they grade slightly, or something's in the way, and because there is some language as far as, I think, for the wetland replication, as far as monitoring groundwater conditions and soil conditions. So it had the ability to be modified slightly in the original order.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying we're basically giving away 30 scale, right? 30 feet of buffer zone, because you're going off of the existing flags and not where the new flags are gonna be.
I mean, typically when people have replication, they show it on the plan.
Right, but it
But this is
hasn't,
part of another notice of intent.
it's part of a notice of intent, and it hasn't been done, so.
Right, I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about the previous plan,
Mhm.
so I'm coming into this with just this. So the fact there's replication, I don't know anything about that when I look at this. And so, it's,
Does
Yeah,
it show the replica?
It's like the cart before the horse, I'm not being able to understand that.
and
Well-
it makes a difference where it's going to be located, because that could change the actual buffer that we just needed.
So,
It's still, even if
just-
you go off of the new line, everything's still out of the,
it is, and if I may, so this is the approved subdivision plan. It shows those residences there, it shows the replication line, and we put those houses in line of where that was. This just more formally makes the process, because the order of conditions specifically said it was for the roadway construction only. So we kept completely with what the approved plans were. And again, whether I should have showed it, with it not existing, I don't know. I defer, because, as I said, sometimes you get out there, and if it's X number of square feet, and it's supposed to be monitored by the wetland scientist through you guys, and there's something in the way, and maybe it changes or does whatever.
and you're still 8 feet away, so
Where is it supposed to be?
what?
Supposed to replicate?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, is that this?
That's what this line is right here. So basically, everything in tan, right, everything in tan is the replication area.
Yes, this, yep.
I don't have the.
Oh, I'm sorry, right here.
Correct.
So the buffer should start.
The buffer should start here, not here. So basically, you carry this line.
This. No, this is just this. Yeah. Yep.
What was that?
He couldn't
He's-
see
he's
the
the-
shade
Oh,
of the
okay.
difference between the peach and
That's the owner. He was just looking for a
Right.
clarification on my plan.
Right.
It's a close tone.
It's very, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like overlapped hatching. But again, those houses are where they were on the approved subdivision plan, as well as matching the grading as best we could.
Right, but I'd like to see the plan showing where the actual buffer is going to be, not where it is now, because you're doing a replication. You know you have to do a replication in that area. Might be off,
We can revise the plan
Yeah,
to
it might
show
be-
proposed buffer zone or something.
yeah. Like I said, no matter what you do, the house is still gonna be out of our,
Right,
it'll still be in the buffer, but not in our no build or no
Right.
disturb.
correct.
I know this one's the closest to it. And I'd also like to see, I went out there, I thought it was May, but I guess it was March, and I went out there before we approved the extension to the order of conditions for the subdivision. But I would like to see where the erosion control is on the plans, because we should have it around the buffer. I just want to make sure it's around the buffer. But as far as the location of the house and everything, I have no issues with it. Grading, I have no issues with, and the Caltech system is, I use them all the time, so.
Yeah. I believe the erosion control is out where it was for the whole construction, so that was the line that was
Yeah, but-
created. So you want to see it like surveyed in where it is? or-
Yeah, because I was only out there for the subdivision, not where we didn't look and see where each individual lot was going. So I want to make sure that our whole buffer is protected during the construction for the houses, not just for the subdivision.
Okay, so you want to see additional
I just want-
erosion control for the construction of the houses?
No, it might already be there. I'm not saying it's not, I just want to see it on the plans where it is.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be where in the plan, because we had the surveyor that...
It's not on these plans, these are the plans where
Okay,
we're voting
I see,
on.
I'm looking at the roadway plan.
Yeah, no, that's why, like I said, they might already be there. I'm not saying they're not, I just want to make sure they're in the right
I
spot.
want to see it overlaid on the
Yeah,
individual site.
yeah.
Okay. that's-
We can do that.
I mean, it's been a while since this has been flagged.
I know when I was out there with, it was Tim, Alex, and myself went out there. And I didn't check every flag, but the flags were,
They're still there?
oh yeah. I'm sure it looks a lot different now than it did in the spring. Anybody else have any questions on this one?
No. I think what you said as far as you want to see where the erosion control is and put the line, those are my concerns.
But as far as location of house, driveway, grading, you guys have no,
So if we measure this out, I mean, I know we're talking about.
yeah, we'll open that one after.
This is fine, but I'm just curious, if we measure the line right here, what's the new 35?
Well, let's
All right,
get
we'll
this one
to
done
that.
first.
Okay, we'll get to that.
So yeah, that's, all I'd like to see is just show all the buffers based off of the new replication line, and then
Okay.
just show where the erosion control is. Anybody have anything else they want? Open up to the public. Bring it back to the board. Somebody want to make a motion to continue to the next meeting?
What's the next meeting date?
The 12th of December.
I'll make a motion that we continue
08405.
0840568 till our next meeting on 12/22.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. That was number 5. So number 17. I skipped, oh yeah, I skipped over all those. What's the file number for this one?
Which one are we doing?
17.
17, okay.
It couldn't be as easy as just one number up from the last one, right?
Yeah.
It might be. 0570.
0570.
Got it.
So there is one in between.
Yeah, it's probably the other one we
Probably the-
have, so.
It's 17 on the other side.
Oh, okay.
It's like one was there, and now this is.
Alright, so you're saying
So this one's the lot right next
Yep.
door. The
Yep.
next one in, so similar. I don't know if you want me to repeat it for the record, or is it, no, okay, Good, thank you.
No, I mean, the same thing, I have
Yep.
no problem with the house, the drainage, the driveway. My, same thing is just show the buffers based off of the.
Understood.
So, that's your closest point right there, right? It's the same thing, you're 80 feet.
So where is that? Where's the new 35, where's the new 50?
35 would be,
Okay,
50 would be
okay.
there.
Just not gonna have a big yard,
Yeah.
that's all, for that one.
And when it comes to order of conditions, I'm looking for signage,
Yeah.
lots
Yep.
of signage.
Oh,
There's not much more the house could move with the.
yeah.
this-
Yeah.
No, like I said,
no, we know that.
I have no problem with the house based
Okay.
off of the,
Yeah.
I just want to see it shown on the plans based off of the replication area.
Okay.
It's just gonna be, I mean, one of those houses without a big, huge backyard. It's big and fine, be big enough, but it just, that particular placing is much closer to that
Yeah.
replication area.
Yep.
Anybody have anything else on this one? Nope. Open up to the public. Bring it back to the board. Somebody want to make a motion?
Make a motion that we continue 084-0570 17 Robert English Way till our next meeting on 12/22.
12/14.
Huh?
When's the next December meeting?
12.
12.
12/12, I'm sorry.
12/12.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. And last but not least, 29 Robert English Way.
And this has file number 0569, so that's the one in between. So again, it's just the next lot further
Well,
down.
let me just open up the hearing for
Sorry.
it. 084-0569. All right, where am I? All right, notice of intent, SE 084-0569, located at 29 Robert English Way. You can go ahead. I know this one has the least impact of all of them.
Yeah, this one's further down. It doesn't have that replication area behind it, and it's similar, it has the two Caltech chambers with the 242 cubic feet over the 150 that was required under the order of conditions for the roadway. Again, grading and drainage, kind of mimicking what was on that subdivision plan, so.
And so this one, the buffer, it starts right there on the other property.
Okay.
Same thing, I have no problem with the house, location, drainage. Anybody else?
No.
Anybody in the audience? I'll bring it back to the board. This one, we can vote on this one, because I don't see any changes that need to be made to this one.
Okay.
Somebody want to make a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the notice of intent for 084-0569, number 19 Robert English Way. I'm sorry,
29,
number
29.
29 Robert English Way.
We have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep. I want to get them all written tonight. You want to just, in case they, I've recused myself from 1400, you want to just? Sure. In case they have any questions? Take it away, Lynn.
Alrighty, so this is for SEO 84 510, request for certificate of compliance located at 1400 Bedford Street.
So this one is from a while back. And for the record, my name's Sean Hardy, professional engineer with Hardy and Mann Design Group. We were not the design engineer. This original notice of intent was a number of years ago, and it was strictly for a drainage change in the parking lot. I have a photocopied, mangled up piece of paper of what it was, if you want me to show you guys.
Sure.
Sure.
Out front by Bedford Street, there was a catch basin that was in line from a drain pipe that goes across the street. They proposed a catch basin with a gas trap and convert that to a manhole. That was what the order of conditions was for. That,
This is the old Benedetti Sorrell's property, right?
Yeah.
yes.
So they went beyond that.
Right.
They had also gone to planning for a site plan to do reconfiguration and do some outside dining and some parking improvements and things like that. In the meantime, Route 18 also got widened, so they lost some of their property. You know, COVID kind of happened, and they tried doing the outside dining, and then after that, their parking lot was kind of in disrepair. Their insurance company threatened them with shutting them down unless they repaved the parking lot. So they kind of did some reconfiguration of things, and when that went to planning, planning felt as though we should come back to you guys, and the mechanism was to ask for the certificate of compliance, even though there was some additional work that happened. And I wrote a cover letter, or a letter with the request. So it was approved, I guess, in July 26th of 2017, so, 6 years ago. The initial approval, as I said, is a relocation to provide treatment of stormwater in a hooded catch basin prior to discharge to the storm drain. In order, when Route 18 changed, they had to keep their same number of parking spaces under their license, so they had to do some reconfiguration. And when that happened, it did expand. So I, with the application, had showed a couple of aerial photos trying to just see what it was. So the as-built had shown sort of to the north. Everything's falling off the table here, so. This was 2014, but the parking, the new parking is up over here. That's shown in the as-built that was submitted. And there's some paved area back here. And the question was that a significant change or improvement? But, I mean, this is 2013 and 14, so you can see that that area is cleared. It's hard to know what the surface treatment is. You can see back here, the area's been cleared, and there's some sort of structures that are back there. And then for further context, this is 2001. So again, the area is cleared up on that other extreme area over there, and it seems like there's a structure there and behind the building again. It's definitely cleared. It's hard to know. It's a grainy picture from 2001, but there was definitely some activity that was there. It was cleared. I can't certify what the surface treatment was, and it's not shown on what that approved plan was. So in order to figure out what to actually file, I had made an appointment and walked the site with two members of the commission, neither of which are here anymore, I guess, so that's not very helpful. But at the time, Tim, I think, was one of them, and I forget the other gentleman.
Alex is on hiatus.
Okay, so
he's
that's probably
technically
who it
still
was.
here. Yeah.
We walked around, kind of looked at those areas, and I don't, granted, my word isn't their word, but why I submitted the certificate or request for certificate was they didn't seem to feel like it was that big of a significant change.
Right. I think what we need to have here is an RDA filed,
Okay?
and so get that done. and we can vote on that. And then once that's done, we can come back to the certificate of compliance
Okay.
here.
I do believe the conversation we had, though, with them at the last meeting was that there was really nothing in that area that,
Yeah, I mean, there, maybe not, but I think if somebody, let's say 5 years from now,
Just
somebody,
for paperwork purposes.
yeah, it's just paperwork. If they come back and they're
Yeah.
like, well, what was this? What happened here? And there's
Right.
no paperwork, then they're gonna slap an enforcement order on them and stuff like that.
Mhm.
If we just have them do the RDA, vote for a negative determination.
Right.
Certificate of
Yeah.
compliance, done the
Correct.
same meeting.
Right, that way it's all legitimate, and it shows
Yeah.
that we did review it, we did look at it, and so therefore, yeah,
Yeah.
I get it, yeah. I understand that.
Sounds reasonable.
Works out.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
okay.
said, to ask for a certificate of compliance, that there was clearly other stuff that had happened, that's why
Yeah.
that's why I requested the meeting, just to
Right.
say,
I
which
mean,
path
because
are we
Tim
going
and
here?
Alex were
So,
both out there, they didn't see anything really that.
I remember
important.
looking at the pictures last meeting, and
Right,
we had
right.
talked extensively about
So
it,
just to cover ourselves as
Okay.
well as the applicant, I mean, if we do the RDA, find a negative or positive, is it?
Negative
Negative.
determination, yeah.
Those are always good.
I know, it's hard.
Negative's
That's the weird
positive.
one.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And so therefore, that'll allow us to just do the COC. Yep.
Yeah.
okay,
Okay,
Sounds
that was my
reasonable to me.
motion.
That's your
So moved.
motion? That they go ahead and they do an RDA, submit
Yep.
an RDA?
Yep.
Okay,
And each is
Seconded.
seconded.
okay. All in favor?
All
so.
right,
Aye.
All right,
you.
unanimous.
Thank you.
we'll see you
See you
on the 12th.
on the 12th or,
Or-
yeah, or
Or
next year.
whatever, whichever. Whichever.
I don't think there's a rush at this point.
No, there isn't a
right?
rush,
So-
but at least it's being addressed, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, welcome, thank you.
Okay, good.
All right, next up is discussion on letter received from DEP regarding 267 North Quincy Street. Tony forwarded me an email from the property owner's wife saying that she wasn't home to get the letter. She was asking if there was another way to receive the letter. So I responded today that Tony would send her a copy of the certified mail letter with Andrew's original letter from back in April or May.
Okay.
And we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay,
Okay.
Blah, 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 blah.
About National Grid.
Well, Hanson Tree, they're gonna come to the next meeting. The delineation was done last week. So hopefully we know which route we're gonna go at our next meeting with that. Next up is certificate of compliance,
National Grid.
SE 084-557. Certificate of compliance for National Grid. Was somebody supposed to be coming in
I think so.
for that?
Yeah, but it wasn't this meeting, I accidentally left it out.
Okay, so we'll continue that to the
Continue.
12th as well.
Okay.
Somebody want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we continue 084-557, certificate of compliance for National Grid till our meeting on 12/12.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It'll be a busy meeting. Building permits and site visits. What was it, week and a half ago, it's a Saturday, Rich, Dan and I did a site visit over at 67 Oak Street.
I'm recusing myself from that?
Okay. We looked around in the area where the buffer zone and where the wetlands are. Clearly, there's no work was done in the wetland, but in the buffer. They had, former chairman went out there, they said between 2.5 years ago, when they were going through the planning board stages of what they were doing, and said that there were no issues conservation-wise with what they were doing out there. So like we've done with other projects, just to make it legal. They're gonna come in for an RDA, and hopefully we issue them a negative determination based on,
Our
you know,
findings.
reaching out. You know, they didn't, like some of the other ones we've had or currently have, they didn't go in there without asking first. They asked and they were given permission. But they're in the buffer zone, so we
Which
should
is
just
Incorrect.
protect them in
position.
case they get a phone, in case we get a phone call saying that they're doing work over there. And we told them that minimum we're gonna want is to put some sort of silt fence barrier towards the edge of what they've done. That way, we know that they can't go any further back. So I think they're gonna try and get on for the next meeting as well. Busy meeting.
Busy meeting.
We did 16 Linwood the week before, so that was, we discussed that.
Are we going to,
Oh, could you set up a site visit for 95 Niles?
thank you. I asked Ken Thompson for, he had sent, pictures on site for every replication, but this one didn't, even though it's right next to 154 Brockton. He gave an aerial thing and drew in ink where things were, so I don't know what was up. So I asked him, can you go back on the property and just take some pictures like you did with all the other 3 or 4 properties? And he said, will do. So that was before Thanksgiving. So hopefully, yeah. Yeah, sorry,
Sorry,
Jean.
Jean.
We're done.
We're all set,
We're done with
yeah.
that.
Were you done?
Yep, come back.
I didn't know if I shouldn't have, like. All right, I'm back. Thank you.
Oh, no, actually, you done with 95 Niles?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm done with 95 Niles.
Okay.
Speak now or forever hold your
Yeah,
peace.
this is your last chance to say something today, Rich, about 95 Niles.
No, I think the
All right.
action's taken is fine.
And then I'd like to set up a site walk too for 402 Groveland Street. They're gonna be coming for a COC at our next meeting as well.
Okay. Do we have an as-built on that?
We'll see when we get the full submission.
Okay. Do we have any meeting minutes? Sorry. Sorry.
We got other, let's get through the other stuff first.
Sorry.
What works for you guys as far as doing a site walk out there?
Usually noons. I don't know about this week, though.
We can't this week anyway.
No.
With the posting. For the legal posting.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I'm probably gonna do it, if I even do one. I've been out there enough times.
Can we do it the following week, the first week of December?
How about?
I think I'm pretty
First
free.
week of December is kind of,
Not good?
the last part of the week, it depends what everybody else is doing.
Just wanna do it on a Saturday or Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday's not good for me, but.
It's not going to take much. Can it be a noontime one?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, don't, you guys,
He's already been, so
Yeah.
it's just
Oh, all right.
like
Rich,
3 of us right now.
what's good for you?
That week's ugly. Saturday, the 2nd, I could work something out. Sunday, I could work something out. Monday, Friday, I'm completely out. Tuesday morning or mid-afternoon.
Tuesday.
Tuesday the 5th?
Tuesday, the 5th.
Okay, how
We could
about
do-
noon at Tuesday? Noon work?
Can we do earlier or a little later?
It's up to Lynn.
And see what I can do about getting off. What about the 6th?
I'm going to be in Boston.
6th, I'll be done till, be out till 3:30.
Oh, okay.
I'll be in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 5th?
Or, how's the 7th or 8th looking?
He said no to the 8th.
Oh,
right?
no? Okay.
What about the 7th?
Okay.
7th is fine for the day.
Okay, so you want to do noon at 7?
We can do noon at 7.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, that's just up the street. So December 7th at noon.
All right, I'm gonna add that in.
All right, correspondence, you guys have the correspondence from
402 Groveland?
LEC.
Which is really Linwood Street.
Oh,
I'm sorry, say again, please, Paul?
You guys have the correspondence from LEC for, well, National
yes.
Grid work?
Yes.
All right, so we have, what, 2 orders of conditions to write up now?
okay.
There's no meeting minutes to approve.
All right, where's the?
Somebody here for them? Or just put them on the agenda?
It's all right. We don't have enough at the next meeting to approve, so. All right, we'll do Rose Place first.
Okay.
Orders of condition for Rose Place LLC, SE 084-0567. A1, what do we want to put for footage?
I mean, they're way outside,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
So A1, 100 feet, A2, A3, A4, A5. B1, B2, I have the same thing, eliminate the first sentence in B2. Then B3, B4, B5, B6. C2, C3, C4. D1, D2, D3. Nothing for E,
Or
nothing
F.
for F. And I have G1, G2, G3, G4, G5, 100 feet. Minimum of 100 feet. G6, G7, H2, H4, H5, H6, all. All of them, yep. H7, all.
yeah.
Plus, I want to add salt substitute for de-icing purposes. And that's all I had. Do you have any other perpetual, same thing, no pesticides. Need pesticides, herbicides, need prior
Approval.
commission approval before you.
Fertilizer too. Yeah. Fertilizer, herbicides, and pesticides.
So pre-construction meetings,
Oh, let's get to special conditions. H8, H9, I1, I2, all. Special conditions, I have, INRAD for all properties with wetlands before notice of intent for each individual property that falls in wetlands. Make sure order of conditions is current and active with Whitman Concom.
Excellent.
Pre-construction meeting, minimum 2 weeks prior to construction.
So can you keep going with Amber?
Provide an INRAD for all properties
For each-
before notice of intent,
Yeah.
properties with wetland impact. Dirt tracking pad at any exit with daily cleanup.
What were the other ones that we had for Zero Summer Street that were special?
They're all special.
I think some of those specials we need to add to our current list, just
I
so that we
know,
can
so we
have
don't
them.
have to
Signage,
We really should redo this. Oh, yeah.
have extra silt sock
signage, extra
and
stuff.
fence on site. Silt sock around any stockpiles.
I
And
don't
that's
think they
it.
need a sign right now, because it's just the road.
Yeah,
No, I know, but when we do each one of the individual houses, I mean, I'm just,
yeah, that'll be,
Yeah. when do
as
that
we
for sure.
apply each house, we're gonna have to, right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm ahead of myself. I keep forgetting we're doing this individual.
I know.
It
we're doing the
seems weird.
opposite of what we just did with,
I know, I know,
Yeah.
I know, that's what's so weird.
and that's all I had.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything?
Nope.
Somebody want to make them to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the order of conditions for SEO 84567 for Rose Place LLC.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right.
Yeah, we really do need to update this.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'll save some time, just especially in those special conditions, if
Huh?
we can just say, yep, all, you know.
Exactly, exactly.
Or all minus D, or whatever the case may be. you
Exactly, it
know.
makes it so much easier.
All right, I didn't,
Certainly keep horse show hand down to a minimum.
all right, so order of conditions for SE 084-0569, located at 29 Robert English Way. A1, 100 feet.
Yeah.
See, I didn't write these ones up right.
Oh, wait. So that was 29.
Yeah, that's the one
That's
that's,
the one that's outside. Okay, yeah. 100.
A2, A3, A4, A5, A6.
Say B1.
Yeah, B1. Same thing, B2, delete the first sentence. Not B3, nothing for B3. No B4. No B5. B6.
C2?
That's more for the subdivision. Actually, well, no,
That's
you
what
can put in there for
kinda-
the Caltex, so yeah, C2.
Well, it's kind of weird order. Project has to be designed, because it already has been designed, right?
Mm.
I think that's it for C, D.
Well, this bigger project's also an older project that they've already worked so
Yeah.
much on ahead, so if we're going from a,
No D, no
Beginning.
E, no F.
It's just a weird
Yeah.
wording of it.
G1, G2, G3, G4, G5, 100 feet,
Yep.
G6, G7, H2, not H3, H4, H5, H6, B, C, D, because the Caltech will be within the 100-foot. F and G. there gonna be any,
Well, H7, we start to get into what we did before, special conditions.
yeah, because I mean, even the driveway and that's out of the, you can't even really enforce the salt on that one, the driveway.
Well, you can still put it in there.
Actually, no, we can't, because it's probably in there for the, because we do have stormwater that's going out.
Into the wetlands.
No, yeah, because the stormwater's still going out there, so we can put that in. So H7 would be just,
Well, I think ABC.
there's no culverts, so not A,
So B and C?
not B.
Where's the, they don't have any detention basins or anything like that?
That's all part of the other notice of intent, order
Oh.
condition. So C, and then salt substitute for de-icing. So C and then D would be salt substitute for de-icing on H7. H8 and H9, which we should say that one's kind of redundant. I1, I2A. I'll put B just in case the erosion control isn't in the proper place. So they can move, if they have to move it. I2C, I'm sure, I think the trees have probably already been cleared as part of the original subdivision notice of intent.
Oh, okay.
Yep, put C in there.
And that's it. There's no
There's
replication
no
plan.
replication there.
There's
No roadway drainage.
So that's it.
No special conditions, right?
Pre-construction meeting?
Yeah, pre-construction meeting and, minimum 2 weeks prior. And I would, same thing, I would put a track pad at the exit, because I know the road's paved, but
Still.
you're gonna track dirt somewhere,
Yep, that's right.
and daily cleanup.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else?
Nope.
Nope. All right, somebody wanna make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the order of conditions for,
0840569.
040569, 29 Robert English Way.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Well, actually,
adjourn.
before I do that,
Ooh.
just let everybody know Alex passed his test.
Yay!
Paramedic,
Good
yeah.
I told him I would embarrass him at the meeting, so.
Okay, congratulations,
Congratulations, Alex.
Good
Now does somebody
job.
want to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.